Hi everyone and welcome to Product Review. This is Kalyan Kumar bringing you this video, and today's video is about 10 of my tips for creating a successful YouTube channel. Now YouTube has over 1 billion unique viewers every month and several billion returning viewers. Everyone is searching for something or the other in YouTube. There was a time when you searched anything and everything on Google search. Today, when it comes to how-to or features searches, people first head to YouTube, then to Google search. Say for example, you brought a new mobile phone and you're looking for how to remove or insert the SIM card or activate or deactivate a particular service. The first thing you tend to do is to go to YouTube and search for a video, which can not only describe how to do this, but also demonstrate it for you. Now, so you want to be a YouTuber, or perhaps you already have started a YouTube channel, and you want to take it to the next level, like those successful YouTubers who have several hundred thousand subscribers. So how do you actually do it? Here are my 10 tips for making your YouTube channel grow. Now, at the time of recording this video, I have about 52 subscribers in this channel, and I started this channel about 3 months back. Therefore, one may wonder how come a person with just 52 subscribers is giving advice on growing a YouTube channel. Well, I started doing YouTube videos about 3 years back, and I created a channel without knowing anything about YouTube. And there was no one to advise me on how to go about it. I made a series of mistakes, despite which I had about 200 subscribers in about 2.5 years. After 2.5 years, I realized that I really wanted what I really wanted out of my channel and started working on that. And in about 6 months, my channel grew to 800 plus subscribers. So in 6 months, I could attract 600 subscribers. And in these 6 months, I have learned more about YouTube than in my previous 2.5 years. So using the insight I got from my initial failure and eventual, well, I would still call it a success, getting 600 people in about 6 months. And that too for a channel which is only having 200 subscribers as a base, I would still call it a success. So using the insight I got from my initial failure and the eventual success, I created this channel, Product Review, about, as I said, 3 months back. My other channel does not even have a name. I mean, it runs on my name, and because I didn't even know how to give a channel name. So I knew nothing about channel creation, name, or an icon for that matter. In 3 months, in this particular channel, Product Review, I've posted about 35 videos on various products, including gadgets and softwares, and many other related things. So I decided to create this video in which I will share the things that I did wrong and how I amended them in terms of 10 tips for creating a successful YouTube channel. So here it goes. Alright, so let's start with the first one. The first one is decide on a theme, decide on a name, a logo, a channel art, and a trailer video for your YouTube channel. Now decide what the overall theme of your videos should be and how you want your channel to be known. Because of the massive influx of YouTube videos uploaded every day, your videos should have a distinct theme. When I started my channel, my first channel that is, I used to upload everything without having anything on my mind. I'm a chemistry teacher and I used to upload chemistry lectures, besides which I'm an amateur musician, and so I would upload music that I used to create using GarageBand and Logic Pro, and some songs that I would play on my keyboard. Sometimes I would upload videos of my pet, and once I remember I even uploaded a video of a burning car as I was passing it by on the road. I had no theme, no vision of what I wanted my channel to be, and I did not even bother about how many subscribers I had and how to grow them. In fact, I didn't even know how to grow them. So decide on your channel theme first when you create a channel based on what you love demonstrating. If you love cooking and you think you have some unique recipes, your channel should be about that. If you're a teacher, then it should be about your lectures and tutorials. Then decide on the name. Once you decide what my channel is going to show, it should not show multiple things. It should have a clear-cut focus on one particular aspect of life. If you're a cook, do a cookery show. If you are a carpenter, well, that is what you got to look for. So whatever is your profession or whatever is your love in terms of a hobby, that is exactly what you should be doing. After you decide on the theme, then decide on the name. And remember, the name should not be more than 3 words. It should be very easy name that people can remember by. Crisp, to the point, and reflecting the theme of your videos. Create a logo for yourself or take the help of online resources for creating those logos. The logo should reflect your theme. For my other channel, in which I post chemistry videos, I have used a green bubble inside which you have chemistry lab equipment. Shows chemistry. For this channel, as you will notice, you have an orange bubble which has gadgets inside. In your channel, you will find a place to insert a channel art. So once you create a name, now go for the channel art. Now the channel art should be an image or perhaps an image and a text, but it should be more than just a logo, because your logo will anyway be implanted there on the top left. Try to create a bigger version of a logo in terms of a more detailed nature of your channel, and it should be a visual representation of the channel's theme. Now I'll be making a separate video on how to create a channel art, because what happens is generally what YouTube tells you that this is the particular size that you need to create, and if you create that size, most of it will get cropped. So when you watch it in your laptop or desktop or a mobile phone, most of your channel art won't show up. So I'll make a separate video on how to create an exact size of a channel art that shows up without cropping on your desktop, on your laptop, on your mobile phone, and also on a TV. So a trailer, then the next part is a trailer. You should have a trailer for your YouTube channel. A trailer is very important. A trailer can only be made if you have at least 5 to 10 videos, and it's not necessary, but adds quality and value to your channel and shows your professionalism. It is just a short clip lasting about 30 seconds to 1 minute. It is what it says. It's like a trailer. I mean, what does a trailer do to a movie? It gives you a small glimpse of the entire movie without giving you the entire story. So a glimpse of the type and theme of your videos. This video will always be the first video that any new person coming to your channel will see. I made mine using iMovie, and you can have a look into my channel and check out my trailer. And by that time I had already completed more than 20 videos when I made that. I made mine using iMovie, but you can take the help of online resources also for making yours. But if you have a Mac, I suggest go for iMovie because they have inbuilt trailers in them. The second point that I wanted to make was make videos that are good in terms of visuals and audio and content. Now your video should have a professional touch. This means that your visual part of the video should be well lighted so that everything can be seen. You don't need a high-end camera for this. I have seen people making YouTube videos using their smartphones itself, and they really look good, but never ever save money on audio. Please take it as a guru mantra from my side. This is very, very essential. You can compromise on the video, on the visual part, but not on the audio. Get a decent mic and a recording system. So you have a mic and it should get recorded either probably in your laptop or a computer, or perhaps even a portable device like your smartphone. And after some time, probably you can graduate to buying a product like the Zoom H1 handy recorder, portable recorder. Various types of handy recorders are available. And the best mic that I would prefer, it should not be overpowering on your video. Because I've seen a lot of people making videos with a huge mic that is coming in front of them. It doesn't really look professional. I mean, it looks more like a studio-ish kind of a feeling, but it doesn't give a good feeling for a YouTube video. I would prefer to get lapel mics, and lapel mics are available for less than even 1500 rupees, which is about $20-25. Make sure that the lapel mic can fit into your camera. Check for the compatibility of the camera port and mic jack. Most cameras use what is known as a TRS connector, and go for a TRRS mic and a TRS adapter. The advantage of this will be the TRRS will directly go into your smartphone and you can use your smartphone for recording your audio. And with the TRS adapter, you can connect it to your handy recorder if you have one, or your camera, or maybe any other such device. Be very clear about the content. You should always start making a script, a detailed script with details of what is being shown and what you will be saying at each and every point of time, just like a script is made before a movie. This will give you the points that you need to cover. There is no need to memorize the exact language of the script, but if you can do it, well, that's pretty good. I make a detailed script before every video, and believe me, the script sometimes takes more time in making than the video itself. The script should have two parts. What is the visual part, what you're going to show, and what you will be saying while it is being shown, as well as certain B-roll footages that will be shown, and you will be very clear when it will be shown. While speaking in front of a camera, even if you forget lines, try to improvise, but if you're not satisfied, well, you can always go for another take. The third point that I would like to talk about is to create videos that are complete and detailed. And in this aspect, many of you may disagree. Many of the so-called professional YouTubers who have got 100,000 subscribers also would disagree. If you're creating a video on some product, unboxing and review, make sure you do a thorough research of all aspects of the product. Download its user manual from the web, study it, look at all available videos on YouTube about that particular product, and make sure that you cover all the details of the product. That is very, very essential. Now, sometimes this can lead to lengthier videos. And this is where I'm saying that, people could differ from me. The maximum limit I feel for a video, especially for a detailed review of a product, should be around 30 minutes. And the minimum should not be below 15 minutes. Now, if your content is larger, if you think that 30 minutes won't cover, then I suggest you make videos in parts. I made a video on a software called Tornado Server. And believe me, it took me 9 parts to cover all the details of that particular software, and no video lasted for more than 30 minutes. At the same time, make videos of lengths that you would like to watch. You see, the reason I make a little bit of a longer video is because if I'm looking for a product review, if I'm looking for a product, I would like to understand the product in detail. And I would like to go for a review which is more in-depth than short. So anything that is less than 10 minutes, I'll never go for it, because I know in 10 minutes you can never cover the entire working of the product. So I'm not interested in an overview. I'm talking about an in-depth review. So when I want to know about a product that I wish to buy, I want to know the product details and working that covers all aspects of it. There are videos that simply show unboxing of a product without a review. Now, what is an unboxing useful for? It only tells you what will happen if you unbox it. That's it. It doesn't tell you how the product works. They don't demo it. They're not going to show you what are the shortcomings of the product. It doesn't work. These videos are useless, but apart from unboxing, you would also want to see a demo of it working, things that can go wrong and how to fix them, limitations of the product. I never look at a video that is less than 10 minutes for the review of a gadget or a software. So do not go by the cliche that people have short attention spans and one should always make videos not more than 7 to 8 minutes. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter at all. But if you find 30 minutes to be too long, then cover the entire review in parts. I mean, if you feel that, okay, perhaps a person who only wants one aspect of it or just wants to know what is the overall view of the product, of the software or whatever you're trying to make a video on, then make it in two parts. One is an overview, a snapshot, and the other perhaps a little bit more detailed. So the first one a person sees, gets an overall picture, okay, this is what this particular product is about, this is what this particular shelf is about. Suppose you are a carpenter and you would like to make a table, so you can simply say, okay, these are the gadgets you need to make it, and these are the basic principles by which you make it, and this is how the final product looks like. And then if you really want to get into the details of it, well, that would be a separate video. Only those people would come to those videos who are really keenly interested in knowing about the details. The fourth point that I would like to cover is always show the product or the recipe in case you are a cook. Never do a review of a product without having it. See, if you're talking about a microwave oven and you want to talk about all the things that it can do, you must have it first and show it, demo it. If you're talking about a recipe, then show the recipe. Okay, these are the ingredients I have and this is how I mix. Show how you cook that particular recipe. Never discuss a recipe without showing it. Don't make a video by using images and web pages rather than the actual product. Demonstration is the key. So there are a lot of, in fact, I won't take the name of that particular channel. You'll find that comes up almost every time you want to know top 10 products of this particular category. It will show you all images, it will show you some pros and cons. They don't work at all. They're useless unless and until you see them working. I would rather have a person make 10 different videos for 10 products and compare them rather than just showing a picture and write some particular details without showing any detail about how they work. So never make a video based on just images or clips taken from somewhere. You can include clips taken from somewhere if you want, but it should be your video and it should be a demonstration. The next thing that I would like to talk about is try as much as possible to match the level of the popular YouTubers. Now, you may be new to YouTube, but your audience doesn't know about it. And they're still going to compare you with the pros. So they will treat your videos at par with more experienced YouTubers. And if they find your quality to be low, they won't subscribe to you, they won't return to your channel. So remember, when you make the video, have a look at all the videos available. Look at how the quality works, what is working, what is not working. Invest in a decent camera. Though I said you can even use your mobile phone, but if you can help it, if you don't have an option, that's okay. But if you can spend a little bit of money, invest in a decent camera. Learn video editing, learn audio editing. Have an intro for your videos. Have an extro for your videos. The overall feel of your videos should not reek of amateurishness. Nobody expects you to make a movie like Jurassic Park. But a video with good visuals, captions, sound, good sound and video editing will really make your videos at par with the pros. The next one is something which I have learnt in this very channel and how my first channel helped me understand this. Don't keep looking at your subscriber base or views. It is important to know how many subscribers you have, definitely. How many views you've had, but don't keep looking at them every day because the only thing that can do is to demotivate you. You cannot control your subscriptions or views 100%, right? That you're quite clear. You cannot control them 100%. You can make a good video, but then you have to allow people to come and see it. So focus more on what you can control 100%. Whatever you can control 100%, you should only expect things from that. Expect a great video from yourself. And if you're not able to meet the challenge, well, there is something that you need to work for. But you cannot control your subscriber base or views 100%. So don't have any expectations out of it. When you don't have any expectations out of these things, they will stop bothering you. So focus more on what is in your control 100%. You have control on what your video will be showing, how you will shoot it, what will be your script, what equipment you will use, and how you will edit those footages and how you will edit your sound. So focus on these rather than looking at how many subscribers came to your channel daily. You see, you will hear a lot of pros talking about Google Analytics and in which month it went up and in which month it went down, and what happens if they post a video on Sunday morning, it gets more views. All of that is not for you if you're a beginner. That will come to you when you get up about 1,000 or more than 2,000 subscribers. Right now, just focus on your video. And believe me, the first 100 subscribers are the hardest to get. If you're sitting at 20,000 subscribers, getting 100 per day is not a big deal. But if you are a new person on YouTube creating a new channel, believe me, getting 100 in 1 month, perhaps even 6 months, is not going to be that easy. So knowing views will help you in one aspect, that it tells you which videos got more views and which got less. For example, I posted a video on a personal cloud service called Tornado, as I mentioned before, which got less hits in a month than the hits I got for a review I did of a Sony 4K Handycam. In fact, the camera with which I'm shooting. This shows a particular trend. People are looking for that kind of a gadget. But they should not influence your videos too much. So don't look at the views and decide, okay, this gets more views and I'm going to make more videos on that. There are viewers who are wanting to buy a device and some who are casually going through your reviews. A casual viewer would want a shorter 5-minute video, but a serious one would want a detailed one. So make the video in 2 parts, one describing the product concisely, focusing on the more important aspects, and the other a detailed review. So don't keep looking at the number of views, because if I were to do that, believe me, I would have been probably making a different kind of video. In India, there are more views for reviews of low-end budget smartphones of the region of $100, about 5,000, 6,000 rupees, than for the flagship ones like the Galaxy S8 or the iPhone 7. But I cannot bring myself to make videos on products that I myself never use and I'm not even interested in. If I'm not interested in something, I will not make a video on that. I'm not interested in cars. I have a rudimentary car, whatever can get me through to work. I'm not much into cars, so I'm never going to make a review on a car. Perhaps tomorrow when I buy a new car and I'm really enthused about that car, I might make a video on that. But I'm not going to make a video on something that I don't believe in, that I don't buy and I don't want to use, just because you can get more views on that. So though I might increase my views and subscriptions, I don't make these reviews. So stick to your beliefs. Remember, your videos should make you feel satisfied. Otherwise, after a few videos, you will lose your enthusiasm for making them. Be engaging with your viewers. Answer their queries within 24 hours and they will really love you for it. So in fact, I make it a point. The moment my email tells me there is a particular comment on your YouTube, even if it is not a question, you must thank them in case they praise your video. And if they don't take offense. Say, sorry boss, I probably would like to improve. In fact, in one of my videos, somebody said you do too much of talking, like I'm doing right now. In fact, it was a review about a product. And he says, you keep talking so much, talk less and show more. And I said, point taken. And as far as you feel that that's a valid point, change it. If you find that, well, it's everybody's view, but I really believe in this particular thing, go for it. The next point that I want to talk about, point number 7, is a very crucial point. And that is, be yourself. In your commentaries, in your speech, but get your pronunciations right. Now, far too many YouTubers, in fact, this is something which I've noticed almost in every video that I've seen in YouTube, is that far too many YouTubers think that being funny makes your videos great. It doesn't. Most often than not, their humor makes them look extremely dumb. So if you like a video by a presenter who is funny, it doesn't mean you must be too. In fact, many of the times this funny business puts me off. I'm looking for a product and this guy is making jokes and this guy is making funny faces. I mean, it doesn't work for me. So if you like a video presenter who is funny, wow, good for you, but that doesn't mean you must be too. If you can pull it off, then great. Otherwise, stick to being yourself. And I think too much of humor on a video where a person has come to your channel to have a look at what you're saying and what the video is all about. I mean, most of them get put off by your irrelevant humor. Don't try to have a fake accent, and this is especially for Indians and Asians rather. Don't try to have a fake accent, because many times it puts me off, because one can easily make out your fake accent. And don't speak in a video if you're as if you're talking to friends. I saw one video about Raspberry Pi, a product. It's not a fruit. Raspberry Pi is a software, is a small device. And there is this guy talking, and he was an Indian. He's talking as if he's talking to himself. And then you do it. And you can hear is all ha, all those sounds that you make generally when you're talking to yourself. He doesn't realize that he's talking about that video, even though his video was great. It told me so much about that Raspberry Pi, but believe me, I had to have a lot of patience to go through it. And eventually, after looking into his video, I gave a thumbs down. So some videos are so good in content, but the accent and the pronunciations of the commentaries are so bad, I don't even feel like watching these videos. And some of us think that, only our countrymen are going to watch this video. No. If you're an Indian and you have a very heavy accent, if you are from South or North or East or West, if you have a very heavy accent of English, please improve on that before you make a YouTube video. Because please understand, Indians are not the only ones who are going to look at your channel. And similarly, if you are an American or a Britisher, please understand, you got to be audible and you got to make sense of what you're saying. In case you find your accent to be heavy, at least put subtitles there. So remember, your video will be watched by not only your countrymen, but by others too. And you have to make sure that you're able to make things clear for them too. The next point is, have a concise and effective description and tags when you upload your video on YouTube. When you upload your videos, make sure you give a concise but detailed description of what the video is all about, and make sure that you put as many tags that are related to your video as possible to make your video easily searchable. The next point is a very crucial one again. Learn editing software and invest in your gear. Video production gear. Now, do not measure the importance of your YouTube work by the money it generates. It won't generate money. At least not till you get more than 100,000 subscribers. And believe me, the money that you'll get is going to be so small that it will take a lot of time to be a professional YouTuber where you leave all your work and only do YouTube videos. Believe me, I would love to do that. But I have a day job. I'm a teacher. I teach. And in the evenings and nights, I make my videos. So I can't afford to just leave my job and sit and try to make YouTube videos just because it is giving me revenue. The revenue so far I've got is $25 in 3 years. So believe me, it's not going to pay you that much. But that is not the reason why you want to be a YouTuber. And in case it is, let me give you an advice. Stop being a YouTuber. Go and do something else. You might make more money. So you should not try to be a YouTuber for making money, but for the passion of making content. So invest in good editing software. Don't look at how much I've invested and how much I get. You will get zero. Let me tell you now, right now itself. You're going to get zero. So invest in a good editing software. Just do it for the love of it. Learn how these softwares work by using YouTube videos. and invest in your video production and editing. There'll be some free editing softwares available in the beginning. Perhaps you can use that. But my suggestion is you need to buy and learn Camtasia Studio for Windows, or for Mac, there's something called a ScreenFlow. So use ScreenFlow and these are for capturing the video screen, the screen of your laptop or your desktop. And Adobe Premiere Pro, or if you are in Mac, maybe Final Cut Pro for video editing, and Audacity, which is free of course, for audio editing, and Adobe Premiere Pro for video editing, Photoshop for generating graphics. These are vital tools to edit and produce your videos. Camtasia does, as I said, computer screen recording. ScreenFlow does it for Mac. Premiere Pro does an amazing editing and producing work as far as videos are concerned. Edit your audio in Audacity, and Photoshop for images, captions and thumbnails and other graphics. Buy a good lapel mic, a recorder. In fact, let me show you my recorder. This is my recorder I've kept in my pocket. This is called Zoom H1 portable handy recorder. I've done a review of this. In case you're interested, you can go and have a look. And so make sure you have these. And of course, you can even use your smartphone instead of this. Buy a decent camera, if possible an HD camera with a tripod, and try to upgrade them as and when you feel the need. So you feel that you're almost done it for 2 years and now you'd like to improve your camera, maybe a 4K camera. I bought a 4K camera. I believe it took a lot of time and effort to generate the kind of funds required to do it, because I wanted to be future proof. I wanted to make content in 4K as well as HD, and that is the reason I invested in this camera. But I do not suggest that you buy such an expensive camera. That's about almost $1,000. So don't buy a camera that expensive in the beginning. Try to go for a camera that is $200 to $250, and I think that should work for you very well. In the beginning, you will have to buy a lot of stuff to show in your videos, because even when I do a product review, you need to have a product first. But what I did was, I started this channel of product review by showcasing products which I already had. In fact, I started with the TV, my TV. I then had a pen display unit. Then I went to a laptop, and then whatever gadgets I had, I did reviews on all of that. And then I started buying some gadgets only for the sake of the review. So you'll have to invest here also. But once your work gets noticed for the kind of videos you make, companies will come and give you review products. So if you're a cook, maybe you are good at barbecuing, your channel is about barbecuing, there'll be a lot of companies which will come and give you the sauce, the spices that you can showcase in your work, showcase in your video. But believe me, it is going to take time. It will take at least 2 years of continuous and good level work for you to reach that level. And lastly, number 10 comes a very important point, that is share your work. Make sure that all your friends and family subscribe to your channel and view them as often as possible, even if they are not onto it. So believe me, the first 20 to 30 subscribers that you're going to get will be your family and friends. In fact, what I used to do, I used to go to my office, sit with my colleague, say hello, hi, and I say, please give me a mobile phone. And I'll just go to YouTube, I'll search for my channel, subscribe, like a couple of videos, give it back. I won't even ask them to do it, because they'll say, okay, I'll do it, and then they will forget. You're going to ensure. So the first 20 to 30 subscribers are going to be your friends and colleagues and family. But then share your videos on Facebook, share your videos on Twitter, share your videos on Google Plus or whatever social media that you are a part of. Ask your viewers always at the end of every video to subscribe to your channel and like the videos in case they do. This is very, very important. And so there is my 10 tips for creating a successful YouTube channel. I follow all of them rigorously and religiously. Sometimes I fail in one aspect, sometimes I fail in the other aspect. For example, in one of my videos, my background music was pretty heavy, and then I realized, okay, I'm going to reduce it. In the next video, it went down so completely low that I couldn't even hear it. So it took me a while to figure out what was working, what was not working. But believe me, you must look into your videos before you post them. This is very, very essential. I've seen a lot of people who make videos, edit the videos, create the videos, and without even looking at the final video, they just post it on YouTube, and then probably after a couple of weeks, they notice something is wrong in their video. It has happened with me. In the beginning, I used to post videos because I didn't have time to view the entire half an hour video. So I would simply post it. And then after a couple of days, I would look at it and I would say, oh my God, something went wrong. Here there is no sound, or here this particular length of video is unnecessary. I need to cut that. And again, I would delete that video, remake it and put it back. And all the views that you got in that video up to then, they all vanish. So in case you haven't subscribed to my channel, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, because if you subscribe to this channel, you will get the intimation right on time whenever I post a video. I'm going to make lots and lots of videos on video services, on YouTube, on softwares, on gadgets. So whenever I post them, you'll get a notification, and you'll get a separate panel on the left side of your YouTube channel in which all your subscriptions will be listed, and you can go to any of the channels that you've subscribed to and look at all the videos that have been posted by that particular person. So I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And in case you do like my video, please do hit the like button. And this is Kalyan Kumar signing off. Goodbye, have a great day, and thank you for watching.